if you have a retirement account like your work, usually every 3 months you get a statement in the mail saying this is what you have. And people usually want to know how much money, what's the return on my investment was. So for the sake of discussion, let's say you had 3 months ago you had $3,000 in your account. And when you get your statement today, you open it to see how you did in the last 3 months. You found out you have $3,150. Not bad. Is that an increase or a decrease? So the question, what is the percent increase? Because you want to know if it's worth leaving the money there or not. What is the percent increase? We are going to use the proportion method. We are going to use the ratio of n to 100 is the same as the amount to the base. What I'm looking for is the percent. I'm looking for n. So if I'm looking for n, I need to siphon through my numbers and figure out which one is the amount and which one is the base. The base is what you started with, always. So what did we start with? That's your base. So the base is 3,000. What about the amount? We're talking about the percent increase. Tell me the amount of increase. What is it? Not 3150. 150. It's 150. How'd you get the 150? The 3150 minus the 3,000. So your amount of money or your balance increased by $150. That's your amount. Your amount is the change, which is 150. So set up the ratio now. N to 100 is the same as 150 to what? 3,000. Now cross multiply. N times 3,000, which is what? 3,000 N. You can simplify if you want to. Take some zeros out. I left them there. What's 100 times 150? Add 2 more zeros. So what is N? Divide by 3,000. Notice these zeros here, you can cross them out. 3 zeros. What's 15 divided by 3? So you had a 5% return on your investment. That's a percent increase. Let's do one with a percent decrease. Does anyone watch The Biggest Loser, that show on TV? Well, that works on this logic. We'll take some names here. I'll use Richard here. Let's say Richard came to the show weighing 330 pounds. And after the first week being on the show, doing his workout, following all the stuff they tell him, he went down to 322 pounds. Lost 8 pounds. In 1 week, that's not bad. We'll take Karen. That's my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law. I'll use them. Yep. He doesn't weigh that much, actually. I just added some more weight to him. I added about 50 pounds to him. He's about 280. Karen probably weighs about 138 pounds. And she decides she's going to do the workout with Rick. She's going to help him. So when he goes running, Karen went running with him. Now Karen weighs 134 pounds. Do we have percent increase or decrease for both? Decrease. So what is the percent decrease for each one? This is exactly how the Biggest Loser show works, by the way. So let's look at Rich here, or Rick we call him. Rick, his base is what? 330. He came into us at 330 pounds. The amount, how many pounds did he lose? How many? Which is the 330 minus the 322, which is 8. Let's find the percent for him. N to 100 is the same as what? The amount to the base. N to 100, what's the amount for him? 8 to 330. Cross multiply. 330N equals 800. What is N for Rick? 800 over 330. Let's take two decimal places, because on that show they do what, 2 or 3 decimal places. Can't remember how many they use. So let's divide 800 by 300. That's 80 by 33. You can drop a 0 out of them. What do we have? 80 by 33. Hurry up if you want to go home early. No, I mean with the number. Oh, you're doing by hand?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not using a calculator?
You can't use the calculator on tests and stuff.
It's true.
2.42.
2.42. We're going to cheat here. Here we go.
Thank you.
Now let's look at Karen. What's the base? The base for Karen is 138. The amount is 138 minus 134, which is what? 4 pounds. The percent for Karen, N to 100, is the amount to the base. What's the amount? 4, what's the base?
138.
Again, cross multiply. 138N equals 400. To solve for N, we're going to divide by what? 138. Go ahead, use the calculator and cheat for now. So who's the winner? Karen won. She lost more weight than Rick, percentage-wise. She lost 2.89%. He lost 2.42%. Rick, you're going home. That's how we calculate the percent increase, percent decrease. Other places where we use it. Let's look at some business application. We're talking about percentage. Okay. Let's try this problem. Gotta have you think here. Let's think of something that runs okay, a bill, something that costs about $1,000.
Doctor's bill.
What kind of a bill? That's what I'm looking for.
Doctor's bill.
Oh, doctor bill. Thank you. Did they charge you taxes, doctor? No, we need something that charge you taxes.
The IRS.
You're buying something for $1,000. How about a TV? I like that. 46-inch flat screen TV.
Bigger.
You went to Vermont. You bought it from Vermont. We don't know what the sales tax in Vermont. Somebody told you, and Vermont's cheaper. So, okay, how much is the TV? The price on it is $950. And you looked under that, it says taxes. It is $71.25. And the question, what's the tax rate in Vermont? What is the tax rate? I know in Mass is what, 6.5 is it? But this in Vermont, what is the tax rate? No? When you look at that problem, what is that problem telling us? It's saying the $71.25 here is what percent, that's really what I'm asking, what percent of the 950? That's really what my question. You paid $71.25. I'm saying that number is what percent of the 950? Is it 6%? Is it 4%? Is it 2%? What is it?
So then you're looking for the percent.
Correct. I'm looking for the percent, so I can set it up using any method I want to use. So if you want to use the proportion, the percent is what? That's n. There's the word of. That's the base. And this is the amount. I'll set up the proportion. Is over of. Is what? 71.25. Over means divided by. Of, which is what? 950. That's the same as what? N to 100. You can cross multiply. N times 950 is what? 950N. Multiply these two, that means move the decimal point how many places? 2 to the right when you multiply by 100. Yep. So to solve for n, we're going to divide by what? 950. And again, what's n equal to? 7.5? It's actually 7.5%. Another example where percent is being used. You have a house for sale. This is your house. I don't know, I can't really draw. Here's the door. Few windows here. Chimney on the top. With the lady stuck in it. You guys gotta go help her out. See the other lady stuck in the chimney? The crazy woman. So this house for sale. And it's sold. Z Haddad Realty sold it for $220. 220,000, not bucks. 220,000. But here's the bad news. When we listed the house, I sat with the owner. I said, you know, I do a good job selling these homes. I'm going to charge you a commission of 6%. That's what we charge people. We list your house, we do all the paperwork, we find the buyers for it, we do the contract, you sign, they sign, the house is theirs, you get your money. So you pay me 6% of that price, we sell it. Okay, deal. Now the question is, what is, the house is sold, and you go into your wife, I wonder what he's going to charge me. What is 6% of the 220,000? How much is he going to charge us? What's his commission? I listed the house, I had it on the market for 3 days and was sold. So let's see, the 6 is what? That's the number. That's percent. The percent is always the number. The word of, what comes after of? Base. That means this number here after is the amount. The ratio of n to 100 is the same as the amount to the base. N is what? 6 to 100 is the amount to the base. Oh, I know what the base is. 220,000, right? Cross multiply. 100A equals 6 times 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 12, 13. And now to solve for A, we're going to divide by 100. That will cancel these two zeros. And my commission now for selling your house will be $13,200. That's what we're going to charge you for commission. I know what you're thinking, that Z is the thief. But usually what happens, in case you're wondering what happens with that money, usually somebody will list the house, another company will sell it. They take that money, they break it in half, 50-50. So you take that number in half, which is what, 6,600 for each group. So if I listed the house, I get 6,600, and let's say it's Grimaldi sold it, she gets 6,600. That money here cuts in half again. Half goes for the agent, half goes to the company. So he gets half that number, 3,300, and the company gets 3,300. The same thing right here. So the person who listed your house only got 3,300 all the time, and the person took you out to about 20 different homes to look at, use his gas, driving around and everything, got 3,300. The company he works for got 3,300. The listing agent got 3,300. The company he or she worked for got 3,300. That's how the money usually divided. So that's another place where actually percent is used. One more I'll do with simple interest. I'll do one more example, simple interest. Simple interest, that means the interest calculated once a year. And let's say it's 5%. So let's make a chart here, the year and the balance. $5% interest. Let's say you have $1,000. You borrow $1,000 from Uncle Joe at 5% interest, simple interest. Remember, if you don't pay him, Uncle Joe will break your legs. So at year 0, I should have made a chart, nicer chart. I already screwed up the chart. Today, when I took the money, that's year 0. It's $1,000. That's why I owe Uncle Joe right now. 1 year from now, how much do I owe him? Well, the interest rate is the principal times the rate times the time. That's how we calculate interest rate. Principal times rate times time. What's the principal? How much money did you borrow from Uncle Joe? 1,000. What is the interest rate? 5%, which is a decimal number, 0.05. Times the time, which is what? 1 year. So interest is going to be what? That's just the interest. You multiply these two numbers, that's a 50. So what do you owe Uncle Joe at the end of 1 year? The $1,000 plus what? The $50 of interest. So you owe him $1,050. If you don't pay him, at the end of year 2, what do you owe him? Here's the problem. What Uncle Joe is going to do to calculate the interest for this year, they're not going to use the $1,000. They're going to use that number. That's what you owe him. So now the interest becomes the principal, which is what? 1,050 times the interest rate, which is 0.05, times 1. And what is that number? Is it 52 or 52.50? So now what do you owe him after the second year? The 1,050 plus the 52.50, which is what? 1102.50 cents. And the process continue every year. That becomes the principal for the third year. And they calculate the interest based on that. That's why banks love it when you only pay the minimum balance. Because if you borrow, let's say you purchase something for $3,000, they go, you owe us $3,600 with interest, but you only have to pay $250 this month. Because now that balance is getting bigger and bigger, and you're paying interest on more and more. And they don't charge you 5%. They charge about 19 to 25%, some of these banks. So that's a hefty, hefty chunk of money they're taking from you. Almost every 4 years, they're taking the loan from you, the amount of money that you borrowed. So if you borrow $3,000 and you pay them at 19, 20%, almost every 5 years, actually probably 4.5 years, you're doubling that money that you borrowed from them. Double.